Man, One Piece came out one day later and everybody loses their minds. Jesus, come on, guys. Alright, this is Sundown. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 879, Big Mom Commander Dogtooth. Now, this chapter was good. I really liked it. Straight off the bat, I'm going to give it about a 7, 7.5. It was a good chapter. I enjoyed it. The best part being the part I'm going to start off with was the fight between Luffy and Katakuri. Now, if you're as hype about this fight as I am, you're in good shoes, because this fight is going to be sick. This fight is going to be badass. Now, what we see in this chapter is not so much a fight between Katakuri and Luffy, but basically just one-sided domination by Katakuri. He's just dominating Luffy at this moment in time. We knew that Devil Fruits was similar, but I really like that Katakuri is showing Luffy that his experience is many times more expansive and just deeper than Luffy's. Luffy has nothing on Katakuri in terms of speed, power, dexterity, anything like that. He's totally fending off Luffy. To fend off Gear Second, he uses his superior Kenbun Shoku Haki, or Kenbun Shoku no Haki, and just grows more limbs so that he can fend off Luffy's speed with numbers, basically, and foreseeing where each attack's going to land. So he can fend off Gear Second like that. He can fend off Gear Third by basically just going bigger than Luffy. You know, he just goes bigger. He's able to mold as much as he wants into one arm and just expand it to a size which is almost double the size of Luffy's elephant gun at the end of this chapter. So I'm just like, yo, shit, Luffy's in a pickle, and this is basically almost like the Zoro versus Mr. One fight. Someone on Reddit said this as well, actually, where Luffy's gonna have to evolve through the fight, otherwise he's not making it out of the fight alive. It was great, and it was great how Katakuri basically realized what Luffy was gonna do via what I assume was his Kenbun Shoku no Haki, and then replicated Luffy's attacks, but made them more efficient in the sense that they're probably less fatiguing, more powerful or faster, and they're better positioned. Each of his attacks is landing in a better place than Luffy's is. So he's just more efficient than Luffy is at this moment in time, and Katakuri's going in. He's putting in some work. So but the thing is Katakuri becoming too complacent? Is he becoming too cocky? Now, he's the most level-headed, and I think in this chapter as well, it's confirmed that he is, in actual fact, the strongest commander. And is this the first time his bounty's been mentioned? Because I read somewhere else that his bounty was 1,057,000,000 or something like that. We knew his bounty was always going to be high, but he's got the highest bounty so far of the Big Mom Pirates. So that's nice. But yeah, so is Katakuri becoming too complacent or too cocky? He seems to be, like I said before, he seems to be the most level-headed of the Big Mom Pirates, but he just seems to be, I don't know, it's like I've mentioned in all these other chapters before. I get this weird vibe from Katakuri in this chapter as well. When he's watching Luffy, it's almost like he's trying to beat into Luffy the way to become better. He's trying to beat techniques into Luffy, like no, or not even techniques. He's trying to beat the technique of Luffy's techniques into him. He's like, no, you're hook Gatlin. This is how you're doing it. This is how I'm doing it, and it's more efficient this way. So it's almost like he's beating, or he's molding Luffy into a better form of himself. It's really weird. Katakuri, he doesn't, like I mentioned before, he doesn't really seem to be an innately cruel or hateful character. He's a really good character, and I really like what they've done with what Oda's done with Katakuri. He's done a really good job with him. So he's a likable character. He's just on the wrong side of Luffy's friggin' fists. So what can Luffy do now? Luffy can either go Gear 4th, which would be useful to an extent, but would Luffy tire out? But it would tire out Luffy quickly and leave him vulnerable for a long while after having used it. Is there the possibility of Gear 5th on the horizon? I don't know, too soon maybe? Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, Luffy did release Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd. Right, they were within chapters of each other, or they were, well, Gear 3rd was hinted within chapters of Gear 2nd having been used, and they were both used in the same arc. But I don't think Gear 5th is a possibility at this moment in time. I don't want to see it too soon, because we've got other forms of Gear 4th that have yet to be used if Luffy does decide to go the Gear 4th route. We have awakenings as well. Maybe Luffy will utilize some form of an awakening this in the next few chapters or something, to escape from or even try and beat Katakuri in any form. Awakening seems like maybe the way to go, but as we all know, Luffy's responsibility is to find out Katakuri's weakness, and if not, he needs to evolve during the fight, just like Zoro and Mr. One. That whole fight between them, he needs to do that. So now that we've got the main bulk of the chapter, for me, Anyway, out of the way, which was a really good part of the chapter. Let's talk about the other parts of the chapter. Now, actually, let's talk about the cover page now that we've gotten like 5 minutes into this review. Sai got wrecked by his ex-fiancée, the muscly Okama looking chick. And Baby Five's all like, oh shit, you just got wrecked. So I was like, that was funny, that was cool. I didn't expect, Sai was basically expecting it, and he didn't hit back because, you know, he didn't, I don't think he gets it. He goes full time, full blast against women. So I liked then carrying on to the beginning of the chapter. I liked how Jinbei actually, I really like this part. I liked how Jinbei took command of the crew and directed their emotions. It was what we've been expecting to see from Jinbei if he had come to the crew sooner. This is kind of the role he brings, the experience he brings. He's got like basically Katakuri level experience. Although I assume he's weaker than Katakuri, he'd probably put up a better fight against Katakuri because of his water-based skills. But I like how he tells the honest truth of the situation, and he's like, this was always a kill or be killed situation. It was never going to be any easier. You knew this when you were coming in, but also this was a victory for Pedro, who's managed to secure us or the Straw Hat crew some means of escape for his companions. So it was a victory for Pedro, and what he did there was amazingly fortunate for the rest of the Straw Hat crew. So Jinbei's telling the crew some hard truths. He's like, this is a win for Pedro, and you guys gotta balls up, otherwise we can't face Pedro like this again. He sacrificed his ass for us. So I like the fact that Jinbei took that role of like second in command almost. And I also like the fact that he took position of helmsman. He's there at the helm and he's like, yeah, I'm just taking the wheel. I'm gonna check the ocean currents and I'm gonna guide the ship. So Nami's cool with that. She's like, yeah, you do that. And that was the position that a lot of theorizers and reviewers seem to be agreed upon. Like Jinbei was gonna take position of helmsman. That's his kind of thing. We also see what might be the position for Carrot, who we see her in the crow's nest, and she realizes that Big Mom is behind him. I'll get onto that in a bit. But what was his name? Pedro, actually, he used to always chill out in the crow's nest on the Thousand Sunny when they were on their way to Whole Cake Island. I think we saw him there a few times. And Carrot seems to have now taken over that position, and she seems to be the lookout in the crow's nest, and that would be a good position for Carrot because of her maneuverability, which is she's quite fast and she's quite jumpy and all that. So that's really good for Carrot. We also, really enjoyed Big Mom and how she turned up walking on the sea. She's just like strolling out on the sea, and Jinbei's like, what the fuck? And it's basically all because Perospero is putting in some work. This guy is carrying the team right now. I mean, Katakuri and Perospero, these guys are killing it, and they're both like, is it first and second child? I don't know. I don't think Katakuri's second child, but Perospero is putting in some work for the first child, and his younger brother as well, Katakuri. They're kicking ass right now. We haven't even seen Smoothie put in this much work, to be fair. Smoothie we haven't seen do anything really impressive. We see Perospero replace his last arm with a candy arm, which was really cool. I like how controlled and how calm his demeanor is, even though his arm just freaking blew off, and he's like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'll just replace it with candy. I'm just pissed off because now every time I drink something hot, like tea or something, it's gonna melt away. So he's pissed off more about the fact that he can't drink his hot black tea, and I'm just like, what is this guy? He's a monster. Perospero is an absolute monster, and I'm actually happy that he's kicking ass the way he is. I mean, the fact that he's basically helping Big Mom to get to the Straw Hat crew is really terrifying for the crew. There's also a possible Carrot versus Perospero on the horizon. It would make sense in terms of the story, but unless they're in a position where they need to fight, i.e. somehow Big Mom gets real close to the ship or something and Perospero jumps on the ship or some shit like that, it would be a stupid fight for Carrot to get into. If she forces it, they need to be in a position where they have to fight for her to fight. I don't think it would be cool for Carrot to just jump over and carry on fighting with them or something. So then we come to what was probably the most disappointing part of the chapter, which was the Sanji and Co. whole kind of scene. We know that Lola was we find out that Lola was Minister of Chocolate Town, and that was about it. There was nothing really relevant. We see Pound again. I'm not sure if that's gonna be relevant to the story going forward, but nothing really new apart from Lola. So yeah, that was all of the chapter. The whole Katakuri, basically the best parts: Katakuri, Jinbei, and Perospero alongside Big Mom. And yeah, like I said, Luffy needs to find some way to take out Katakuri, otherwise he's screwed. He's got nothing on him at the moment. Speed, power, dexterity, dexterity, even Kenbun Shoku no Haki is everything is working in Katakuri's favor, and he seems to be the upgraded version of Luffy. So Luffy needs to put in some work, otherwise he's gonna get wrecked. So let me know what you guys thought. Like I said, about a 7.5 for this chapter, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.